Hello YouTube friends, Ben.o.cichild here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Over the years, the tank that you see behind me, the 60-gallon, for whatever reason, has gone a little bit out of level. This could be because of fluctuations that can occur sometimes on your floors. Sometimes the actual stands themselves can start to change over time, changes in humidity, things of this nature. But for whatever reason, when you put a level to this tank, what you notice is that it is a little low on the right side. Not by a lot, not by a tremendous amount, but just a little bit. And in tanks like these, where you have you have these silicone sides, you can put unusual stress on one of the corners, and you don't want that, even a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and level this tank, and what I'm going to do it with is very simply some shims that I picked up. These are some shims that I picked up on Amazon for just a few bucks, a hammer, and a block of wood to help me to tap the shims in. And I will raise this tank on the right side just a little bit, just enough to make it level. And then I'll have a situation that's less likely to put any unusual strain on the seams, on these corners, which is, if you're going to have a burst or some kind of a leak, it'll probably occur along those seams, as opposed to, let's say, the glass breaking. You're probably more likely to have a seam, some type of a silicone failure, adhesive failure somewhere in the connections of this tank. And from what I understand, if you're not true, if you're off a little bit, that will actually aggravate that situation. So let's go ahead and get started and get this thing fixed. As you can see here, I put a few of the shims in place, and then I tapped them in. We're using this wood block, and just get them in just far enough just to raise the tank a small amount. I didn't really need it to be too high up, and I would then measure the tank to see where I was at. Having confirmed that everything is where it should be, I went ahead and then just broke off the shims, leaving, of course, that piece underneath where it should be. So I broke them off, and that way they're not going to be sticking out and looking strange. And I had one that was a little bit more out than I wanted it to be, so I simply gave it a light tap and got that one to be in just a little bit further, and everything looked good. Everything looked solid and stable. And so this job of leveling this tank was pretty much completed. As you can see here on the level, it didn't really take that much to get the tank to be nice and straight and level. The bubble is exactly where it should be, so it's not going to take getting those shims in too much further. Just to be really sure, I took a second measurement at the base of the aquarium, and as you can see here as well, the bubble has positioned itself exactly where it needs to be. And so I think I'm done with the shims. This tank is pretty much as level as it can be. So there you have it. This aquarium now is level. I'm not going to be worried so much about the impact of being a little off level is going to have on it, and I hope that that helps some of you out there that have done something like this in the past, or some of you out there that are carpenters and woodworkers. I'm sure you'll have a few tips and comments. I look forward to reading them in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and keep your tanks level, and that's it for me. Thank you so much.